Here we are in Countdown to Restoration, jam-packed Friday edition. It's so full, it took extra time to get it together. Had to take on extra staff as we chronicle the waning days of the Biden regime, the thief in chief. Yeah, the thief in chief. Yeah, the thief in chief. Yeah, there you go, buddy. Happy weekend to you. Have a good one. We'll see you Monday. All right, the rest of you, we're still going to hang around together a little bit, but he only works for short segments because that's all we can afford. We're a low-budget show. After my exorbitant salary, there's not much left. Who am I? Danny Thompson, glad to have you with us. Yeah, you can drop a comment, you can drop a like, you can tell somebody, share it to somebody. I think we're doing a good job getting out the news of the most, a lot of people say inept, but no, they're very efficient at what they're wanting to get done. In some respects, it's just they did not expect anyone to care. Yeah, they thought everybody's just going to let them go along. And of course, here we are, the poster child for the Biden regime, Dr. Rachel Levine, who shows everything that's wrong and nothing that's right because there's nothing right. Now then, we have a short new video trying to find his appropriate theme song.
Got a black magic woman. Got a black magic woman. I've got a black magic woman. Got me so blind I can't see. That she's a black magic woman. She's trying to make a devil out of me. Turn your back on the baby.
Yes, please turn your back on me, baby. And we say that all tongue in cheek. This person definitely needs help. Definitely needs some restoration in his life. Oh, what else do we have with him? We have this exchange. Wait a minute, yes, we want to keep it right there.
State legislatures are advancing legislation seen as imposing additional restrictions on transgender youth, including those that would inhibit their ability to participate in sports and access transition-related care. One of such bill is on its way to the governor of Mississippi's desk, if not signed already. Has the president expressed any concern about these bills in the state legislatures?
I would just say that the president's view is maybe not well known, but let me restate it here. I'm not aware of discussions directly with state legislators. If he had those discussions, you would likely know, I should say. But the president believes that trans rights are human rights and that no one should be discriminated on the basis of sex. Not only is this the law of the land, it's his own deeply held view. The anti-discrimination executive order the president signed is focused on children being able to learn without worrying about whether they will be discriminated against. And this means not being denied access to the restroom, the locker room, or school sports. And him signing an executive order sends a pretty clear message to state legislators, to lawmakers about where he stands on this issue and what his position is as president.
Okay, yeah. Boys will be girls, and girls will be boys. Might have to go back to Lola. So, but states are, as we've already reported, rising up and saying we don't want boys, especially in girls' sports. Now, along with this segment, we have this announcement, which really isn't Biden news, but Governor Jared Polis announces he is engaged to partner Marlon Rice, whatever his name is. They have been together a while, living in the governor's mansion. Colorado Governor Jared Polis, however, is engaged to First Gentleman Marlon Rice, according to the state's governor's office. The two, who are parents to two children, were engaged back in December. The news has only just now been made public. Similar to someone else's engagement, they decided to do the engagement before Rice was admitted to a hospital in 2019 after contracting the COVID virus. So, old Govs engaged, gonna tie the knot. Ladies and gentlemen, as I said, they're celebrating everything wrong. There's nothing right about this. They've been together a long time, since, by my calculation, since the first gentleman was only 21, and of course the governor was a bit older, but hey, I'm not going to go too deep into that today because we don't have time. But if you do want to understand more about the godless principles guiding this godless regime and the godless things that are happening in this country, please go to seculardems.org and read their, I think, 28-page document, which entails everything you need to know and will help you understand. They should pay us for advertising. Anyway, as we are still in the time of the dark winter of the Biden regime, hoping that the groundhog was wrong. There will not be additional winter weeks. All right, where are we going now? We're going into all kinds of things. You remember yesterday we played the little clip of Nancy talking about open Biden? Yeah, you do not want to be in these people's lives. Well, this is from Michael Moore, the documentary guy that hates all things normal and loves, exceedingly liberal policies. He tweeted, "This is so embarrassing. They have made a joke of the presidency. Biden is treated like a child. He is babysat and humored all day while Pelosi and the rest run the country." See, we're not the only ones noticing. Even Michael Moore has noticed. Why is Biden treated like a child? See, why would anybody let you treat them like a child unless they don't know? They just don't know. And Joe has to say what to that?
Full stop. Full stop.
That's right. He wants a full stop to it. Call Michael Moore and get some help there, Joe. Biden wants new war powers vote in Congress for authorizing America's foreign wars. Psaki says. Just like Psaki says. Yes. So they're going to be looking at that, and he's not as in favor of it as people in Congress are, but okay. Probably needs to be done anyway. Where are we now? We already did that one. What was this one? Oh, yes. The White House announces additional policy staff. So now we have, by my count, 21 new special assistants and a couple of deputy special assistants thrown into the mix. These people are to make sure that all these different committees that are taking a government approach to all the new Biden policies that he's been focusing on, while only focusing on the American Rescue Plan. That's right. He only focuses on that, as you will find out later, and then that is used in so many defenses while they focus on so many other things. But these people are supposed to make sure his own committees and cabinet secretaries and everybody else follows his policies. Yes, think of that. You hire somebody to do the job you tell them to do, and then you hire somebody to make sure they do the job that you tell them to do. See, these people aren't from Biden. These people aren't from the regime. These people are from the higher-ups, and they're sent in to monitor. Yes, they are. They are sent in to monitor because there's just no trust. There's just no trust. More on the War Powers Act, as I had everything out of line. The White House on Friday said it is committed to working with Congress on new legislation to repeal current presidential war powers to be replaced with a narrow and specific framework to protect U.S. national security while ending the forever wars. I am definitely not opposed to that, as you shouldn't be. Just don't trust them. But look who's going to be part of that. Iranian terrorists claim to have active cells in Washington and other cities across the country. Here's what that means. Certain destruction is what that means. We're not going to go into what that. I think we can all figure it out. But is it still there? Is it still there? Yes. Oh, wait a minute. Wrong one. We'll come back to that. Where is it? Where'd you put it? Come on, people. Let's keep this thing orderly. Oh, let me find it. Let me find it. Where is it? Oh, here it is. Yes. Capitol Police request extension of National Guard to protect Congress, but not from Iranian terrorists. Yeah. From white nationalist evangelical terrorists. Yeah, if the Capitol blows up tomorrow, we're being blamed. And but why are they protecting the Capitol from us? So much for armed insurrection. FBI official says no guns confiscated at January 6th Capitol riot. So you have an armed resurrection without arms. Maybe they just meant arms. You know, oh, they all had arms. Most of them had two. Yeah, they had arms. So we just keep tearing down the old narrative there, though, don't we? Yeah. But the Iranian terrorists, they're ready to go. Arizona Education Department encourages talking to babies about racism. Says 3-month-olds can be racist. Huh. Well, what do you have to say to that? Here's some more Department of Education news, this time in Baltimore. Baltimore high school student fails all but 3 classes over 4 years, ranks near top half of class. I mean, this is, I'm not laughing because it's funny, I'm laughing because it's so sad. A Baltimore high school student failed all but 3 classes over 4 years and almost graduated near the top half of his class with a 0.13 GPA, according to a local report. Tiffany France, the mother of the failing student, thought her son would be receiving his diploma in June, but was surprised to discover that he is being sent back to the 9th grade to start over. Boy, you want to send your kids to the Baltimore school district, don't you? I mean, oh no, we won't notice it along the way. If you read the story, she didn't notice it either. There's failure on every part. But you know what? Well, we don't have time. You know what? I mean, this is just ridiculous. I mean, how does that happen? And that's the top half of the class. 0.16. All right. This is good news. 150 missing kids found in Tennessee and outside of Tennessee, if you read the whole article, by U.S. Marshals and local police. And if you want to read the article, I don't have where it is from. Oh, American Military News. And there's other reports on it as well. You know, this was started not under the Biden regime, who rarely talks about missing kids and child trafficking and sex trafficking, etc., by Ivanka Trump, who was the first daughter, not the first gentleman, but the first daughter. And, you know, the Trump administration supported it. This investigation started back in the fall. We don't hear anything about that now, do we? No, but a lot of kids have been rescued, and so we are glad to hear about this. But on the news of kids, teens' mental health claims double amid pandemic, experts weigh in. The lockdown, people, is killing our kids, and our son works with kids, and he could definitely corroborate that. Here in Amarillo, we are a city of 2 counties. One county, Potter County, experts experience increase of mental health cases up 50% as compared to pre-pandemic limits. And so, you know, this mental health is just really messing up our whole country, the lockdown. And so we've just got so many problems. Rand Paul claims victory in fighting over paycheck protection money to Planned Parenthood in Senate COVID relief bill. Now, Mr. Biden, if you remember not long ago, he said he was going to keep that to very small businesses, and Planned Parenthood is certainly not a small business. GOP Senator Rand Paul said Friday he is successful in preventing the Senate coronavirus relief bill from including a provision that would provide Paycheck Protection Program assistance to Planned Parenthoods across America, Fox News has learned. It says the senator's office on Friday said he forced Democrats to remove the provision that would have allowed every Planned Parenthood across America to receive funds through the PPP, which was always intended for small businesses. Yeah, they're talking about all the big corporations, etc., but not Planned Parenthood. Well, we'll see how long that stays out of the bill. And we did that and that. Where else are we going? We're moving fast because we got a lot to show. Now, this is good news if you live in Connecticut. It's bad news if you're a Democrat and you have one of your crew breaking from the ranks. Effective March 19th, Connecticut is lifting all capacity limits on restaurants, retail, libraries, personal services, indoor recreation, gyms, museums, offices, and houses of worship. Yeah, they're saying enough's enough. We are going to open up, Dr. Fauci. Come and stop us. So far, there was nothing on it in today's press briefing. No statement from the White House calling their governor Neanderthal. You know why? I think you can still got to wear a mask, so it's okay. All right, so California, pay attention. Yes, the solidarity is breaking. Yeah, what else we got here? YouTube, if you wanted to see President Trump's speech at CPAC, that on YouTube alone, between the combined sites I saw that were giving replays, well over 2 million views. Well over that. And that doesn't count all the people who watched it live and can find it on other sites. YouTube deletes all videos of President Trump's CPAC speech, suspends RSBN. I have no idea. I guess it's one of the channels for 2 weeks. Absurd censorship and cancel culture continues. Maybe he referenced Dr. Seuss. I don't know. That's just the way it goes. So now we move into the more fun parts of the show. We're going to have some gin. I'm sorry. Oh, not that kind of gin. No, gin Psaki, not the kind you probably need when you listen to her. Anyway, all right. Take it away, Jen.
Okay. Lots going on around here. I have a couple of items for all of you at the top. Obviously, today is Jobs Day, and with today's jobs report while it shows some progress, it also shows the long road ahead. Right now, there are 9.5 million fewer jobs than at this time last year. This is a larger jobs hole than at any point in the Great Recession. At this month's pace, it will take us more than 2 years to get to pre-pandemic employment levels, and it will take even longer at the average pace over the last 3 months. This is unacceptable, and it's unacceptable when 4 million Americans have been unemployed for more than 6 months, or when unemployment is at 9.9% for African Americans and 8.5% for Hispanics. Congress must pass the American Rescue Plan now so we can get Americans back to work and so we can get relief to the millions of people who are struggling.
All right. Why don't we just follow Connecticut's lead and do the following? Remember, I promised you this ad, which I thought was TJ Maxx, but it turns out to be from Mervyn's. You may remember that, or if you're young, you won't remember that store, which was a nice store. Anyway, here we go. This is what we should do. What was that again? One more time. I don't think Jen heard you. Yes, we should just open up and we could take care of all of these needs. Open up. You don't have to spend 1.9 trillion. Open up. And we're going to see now what 1.9 trillion gets us. It ain't much, ladies and gentlemen. It ain't much.
Thank you, Jen. The White House Chief of Staff Ron Klain pointed out this morning that at the pace of today's jobs report, it would
take until April 2023 to get back to pre-pandemic economic levels. So how much quicker does the White House believe the economy can recover to those levels with this $1.9 trillion package? How many more months or years does this buy?
Well, don't take it from us. Take it from outside economists. And independent analysis shows that passing the rescue plan will create 7.5 million jobs in 2021 alone and get our economy back to full employment. Will help create those, I should say, help get our economy back to full employment 1 year faster. So it certainly will help expedite this effort and put more people back to work and pull us far ahead of that 2-year timeline that Ron Klain outlined.
1 year faster. And you notice she didn't say create jobs. Always before they were saying this, that the American Rescue Plan would create jobs. Now she says, oh, help create jobs. 1 year. $1.9 trillion is going to save us 1 year. You could just give everybody in the country a share of that and you wouldn't need to do anything else. 1.9 trillion when all we have to do is what? Open. Yes, open. That's all. But no, government's not that smart. Except in, where was that? Connecticut, Delaware? I don't even know where it was now. Where was that? Connecticut, yes, not Delaware, not Joe Biden's home state. Open. All right, we've got something here, I think, about the lack of access to the old president.
Alex, why don't you kick us off?
Thanks. So we're 45 days into the Biden presidency, and he has yet to hold a presser. At this point in past presidencies, every president, from Reagan had addressed reporters, some of them multiple times. So why the delay, and when can we expect the president to hold a press conference?
Well, first, as all of you know, the president takes questions several times a week. He took questions actually twice yesterday, which is an opportunity for the people covering the White House to ask him about whatever news is happening on any given day. We look forward to holding a full press conference in the coming weeks before the end of the month, and we're working on setting a final date for that, and as soon as we do, we will let you all know. But this president came in during a historic crisis, 2 historic crises, a pandemic like the country had not seen in decades and decades, and an economic downturn that left 10 million people out of work. So I think the American people would certainly understand if his focus and his energy and his attention has been on ensuring we secure enough vaccines to vaccinate all Americans, which we will do by the end of May, and then pushing for a rescue plan that will provide direct checks to almost 160 million Americans. That's where his time, energy, his focus has been. But in the meantime, he takes questions multiple times a week and looks forward to continuing to do that. And as soon as we have a press conference set, we'll let you know.
Sure. Those sprays, though, are not an ideal forum for us to be asking questions. He can't hear us half the time. We get maybe 2 questions and then we're shuffled out. So why hasn't he answered questions from the press at this point? Is it just that he's too busy?
I think he's answered questions, I believe the count is almost 40 times. So, and I would say that his focus, again, is on getting recovery and relief to the American people. And he looks forward to continuing to engage with all of you and to other members of the media who aren't here today.
Yes, 40 times he has answered a question or two. See, they keep track of that, so they have a defense of this. And remember, he is just solely focusing on the American Rescue Plan, so he can't do anything else like meet with people about gun violence, like meet and talk about the infrastructure bill whenever anyone asks her a question on that. Oh, we're focused on this, but he had a meeting yesterday and he's had other meetings. Oh, yeah. And on equity and everything else. And remember, he's very focused on the threat of white extremism. He's very focused on the border. He's focused on all these things, but only focused on the American Rescue Plan, so he can't do anything else. Yeah. But 40 times he has answered 1 or 2 questions as before they push the press away or put the screen up so he can't talk. Why? Doesn't it? Michael Moore knows he's treated like a child. Doesn't that worry you? Well, I guess not. I guess it doesn't worry that many people. But what should worry you is what is happening at the border. Biden DOJ urges Supreme Court to dismiss sanctuary city cases. Now, this happened under the legal waffle. Wouldn't that be a good breakfast place named next to a courthouse? The legal waffle. The legal and lawful president of these here United States, President Donald J. Trump, started this process to say, hey, if you're going to hide out illegal immigrants and work against the federal government, then we're not going to give you federal money. The Supreme Court, I think there's 3 cases, Supreme Court ruled favorably in 1, not in 2. But it does all sum up to they can withhold money. Of course, the Biden regime's not going to do that, so they're trying to stop that. But they're not trying to stop anything else. But the Supreme Court is helping us out in some things. Supreme Court rules against immigrant who was denied chance to make his case against deportation. Because the Trump administration was doing what? They were just getting you and sending you back. Well, he wanted a court case because he had rights. Supreme Court says, no, you really don't. No, you really don't. So that makes it more difficult. But, of course, the Biden regime is not going to even want anybody to go to court. It's just like, why go to court? Just come on in. Just come on in. Come on in, baby, take a load off. Come on in. All right. Guess we'll have to do that song. All right. You remember yesterday we reported and Jen was asked the question. Oh, I should have played that, but only so much of Jen today that we can take, right? We've got more coming, so you don't want to overdo it. Jen was asked the question about illegals being let loose who tested COVID positive to roam the countryside. And Jen said, we deal in facts here. Yes, Governor Abbott is lying. Oh, guess what? He wasn't. CNN slammed for dishonest report claiming Texas governor has no evidence of migrants spreading coronavirus. Oh, I thought we only deal in facts because CNN is so factual. Now listen to this. Yet multiple outlets, including CNN, in the same article, it accused Abbott of making a baseless claim, reported more than 100 illegal immigrants released following their arrival at the border tested positive for coronavirus. We deal in facts here, huh? Yeah. Felipe Romero, an official in Brownsville, Texas, told Fox News that the 108 positives represent 6.3% of the number of total migrants who have been rapid tested at the city's main bus station where they are being released by the Border Patrol. Now, 108 positives, that is only 6%. I'm not the best at percentages and stuff, but that sounds like there's well over 1,000 migrants that were released at the bus station. And of course, Jen says, no, we're not doing that. Guess what Jen is, ladies and gentlemen? I keep telling you, and I don't think you believe me. I think you see her and you think, oh, she seems honest, but she is a...
Ain't that what you say? Ain't that what you say? Ain't that what you say?
Yes, she's a liar. And the regime are liars. They know what they're doing. They want to do it. Why don't they just come out and say this is, and in a lot of ways they do. Give them that credit. All right. So what else do we have here? That was Abbott. You know, they should apologize to that man. Of course they're not. This was a readout, which is almost zero information, between the pretend president Joseph R. Biden Jr. call with President Alejandro Giammattei Falafaya of Guatemala. And I massacred your name, sir. I'm sorry. I'm not even sure how to say some of that. All right. They reaffirmed their commitment. Okay, get straight here. Oh, well, we'll leave it crooked because the whole thing's crooked. Both presidents agreed for their respective teams to meet in the coming weeks to develop an effective and humane plan of action to manage migration. Because you know what's inhumane? They have to make that long journey. That's what they keep saying. So they're going to do like what Obama did, going to send buses and airplanes to pick them up. You think I'm making that up? No. What else would there be to discuss? Because the thing to be would say, how do we stop all these people from coming? We'll pay them to stay there. I guarantee if we just said we'll pay everybody $500 to not come, we could stop this. But no, we're not going to do that. Can't do that. But guess what? To help us, Biden administration moves to speed up processing of migrants in family detention. I thought they were all being turned away. That's what Jen's going to say later. They're all being turned away. That's what she's been saying. Why do you have to process people in family detention who are being turned away? It's like ripping children out of the arms of their parents, unaccompanied minors out of the arms of their parents. You know, some things just don't make sense. I don't know why none of the reporters have asked her, how do you rip an unaccompanied minor out of the hands of their children, out of the hands of their parents? How do you do that? Can you give us a demonstration? I'll be the unaccompanied minor. Show me how you rip me out of the hands of my non-existent parents. I would be a White House reporter for one day before they told me they didn't really need me anymore.
I got unaccompanied minors! Is this some kind of prison?
Yes, it is. And you have no idea how much so, but it is. Because guess what? Biden administration considers sending child migrants to Virginia military base as numbers surge. All right? As numbers surge. Now, I want you to look. See all those nice little t-shirts? We're going to give you a better picture of that in a moment, but keep those in your mind. Somehow, all the migrants are dressed alike. Isn't that weird? Yeah. The Biden administration is considering housing unaccompanied migrant children in a military base in Virginia as officials scramble to deal with a dramatic surge in child migrants at the southern border, not calling it a crisis. Reuters first reported that the base in Fort Lee, I think it's just Fort Lee, near Richmond, is being considered as the Department of Health and Human Services acknowledges it must aggressively find solutions to the surge in numbers. First of all, this is ridiculous. There's other solutions. We had it working. You've got to stop telling these people to come, these kids to come, which we will show you. Other people have figured that out too. Second of all, think of the horrible racism that they are forcing on these kids because this fort is named after Confederate General Robert E. Lee. They are being held in a place that is going to warp them for life from being named after a Confederate general. Liberals, it's just all double talk. And of course, I'm just being sarcastic about the Fort Lee thing. If more people were like General Robert E. Lee, it would be a far better country. But look at the t-shirts and the sign. They have matching signs that obviously were drawn very well with people who can really draw good with markers. Biden, please let us in. And each one has a t-shirt. Biden, please let us in. Now, I know this is not a concerted effort. Either there's somebody selling t-shirts on the corner, or they just all went and had the same design in mind and had it made and wanted to show up. And they thought, oh, this will get attention. And everybody was doing it. Can't figure it out, but boy, it doesn't just look like people just hopped up off the couch thinking on their own, does it? No. And if you remember back when President Trump came in, there was reports from, interviewing Guatemalan politicians or Honduran ones. I mean, it wasn't matter. And TV personalities. They're saying, no, they run ads telling people to go. They offer money telling people to go. See, this isn't just we can't make it in this country and we're so abused. It's like, hey, we're going to pay you. You get to go. We're going to help you. Go. Go north, young migrant family. Okay, but guess what the rest of the questions were that we're going to have today?
On the border, could you provide any more details about that trip planned by senior members of the president's team to the border? Who's going? Any more details you can offer on that?
Sure. Well, again, as I like to say, there's a lot going on. So to catch people up who aren't following exactly what you're following, President Biden has asked senior members of his team to travel to the border region in order to provide a full briefing to him on the government response to the influx of unaccompanied minors and an assessment of additional steps that can be taken to ensure the safety and care of these children. Out of safety, security, and privacy concerns, the date and time of this visit will remain confidential, but the White House, and for now, but we will provide a full readout of the visit once it concludes.
So no details on who's going from the president?
I don't anticipate, we certainly will have those details to share with all of you once the visit occurs, but I don't anticipate us doing that in advance.
All right. You notice everybody in the world's asked to go down there. Press is asked. Congress is asked. Everybody wants to go see. And he has officials down there. They're the administration's people. But see, this way, his top people can go down, report back to him what's actually happening, and they can carry on. No, we saw it. We were there. It's okay. Everything's good. Yeah, we changed this or that. But you notice, for security reasons and safety concerns, we can't announce what day. Who's going to be there to hurt anybody? Security and safety? I guess the white militia are waiting at the border to kill senior Biden staff. That's scary. It's like going into a war zone. It's like walking across the Capitol lawn. You could be picked off at any moment. This is a country under siege. Yeah, at the border by all these people coming across. You know, ladies and gentlemen, one day everybody's going to get tired of this. I mean, I don't know of any administration that doesn't at least shade things their way in press briefings and stuff. It's just the nature of the beast. But come on. Come on. Even the reporters are tired of this.
Given some of the president's rhetoric on the campaign trail and as president and some of the policies that he instituted, including rolling back some of the immigration policies of the Trump era, is he concerned at all that some of his rhetoric and some of his policies may have, as well-intentioned as they may have been, inadvertently contributed to the rise in migrants that we're seeing at the border, in particular unaccompanied children? And does he have any intention to more forcefully tell those individuals that now is not the time to come, as the Secretary of Homeland Security said last week?
Sure, and as the Secretary also said last week, was that last week? It feels, I'm not sure. I don't know, it may have been this week. As the Secretary said, this is a message we are conveying with every opportunity from the President, the Vice President, from officials in the region, and we're doing that with the full support, of course, of the Department of Homeland Security and resources that we have available. I will say that the big difference, which we certainly understand the outcome, may be an influx, as we've seen, of more children. If you were kicking children out, there's naturally by design, I'm no mathematician, but going to be more children who come in because we believe that policy was inhumane, and we believe that children who are under the age of 18 should be treated with humanity and provided safety while we consider what the process is moving forward. So we certainly have a different approach. We understand the outcome and the impact of that, but we are using every tool at our disposal, and we will use every official we can to convey clearly this is not the time to come. The majority of people who come are turned away. Families, adults, we're really talking about children, which is, I know, what you were referencing.
But you do believe that there may be, that part of that rise is due to some of your policies and rhetoric of this administration?
I certainly didn't say that exactly, but all I'm conveying is that obviously we're going to have more kids in the country since we have been letting unaccompanied minors stay, and the last administration immorally kicked them out, in our views.
No, we're not saying anything to add to this. No, not at all. Not us. No, wait a minute. How about Secretary Mayorkas when he was here? Wasn't that just on Monday?
We are hoping to reunite the families either here or in the country of origin. We hope to be in a position to give them the election. And if, in fact, they seek to reunite here in the United States, we will explore lawful pathways for them to remain in the United States and to address the family needs. So we are acting as restoratively as possible. I am very...
Why in the world wouldn't you just send your kids? Why? Because if you want to get here and you hear, oh, they might turn you away if you're adults, oh, we'll send our kids. And then we'll say, oh, if we could just please rejoin them there in the land of the free, the home of the brave, the land of the dollar. Yeah, that's what he says. They're going to explore every legal path to get you here. So yes, it is their policies. It is what the pretend president said on the campaign trail. It is what all the Democratic candidates said. And they know it, and they don't even care. They just act like they care. People wouldn't care if... I don't know why they don't move the White House to Mexico City.
Just to follow up on Jeremy, I think, well, I don't want to speak for him, but a lot of Americans are saying that, the surges are happening under President Biden's watch after he reversed some previous policies. So does the administration take any accountability for what's happening?
Who are the Americans?
Well, I know you don't want to answer to him, but the former president just released a statement saying that the Biden administration must act immediately to end the border nightmare that they have unleashed onto our nation.
Former President Trump?
Yes.
We don't take our advice or counsel from former President Trump on immigration policy, which was not only inhumane, but ineffective. Over the last 4 years, we're going to chart our own path forward, and that includes treating children with humanity and respect and ensuring they're safe when they cross our borders. Go ahead. Oh, go ahead.
I think she should be saying humanely there. Now, what was ineffective about President Trump's border policies? You know what was ineffective? He wasn't letting them in. That's what she's meaning. His policies kept people out. We want people in. We just didn't want them to come now. Secretary Mayorkas, oh, don't come now, but I want you to wait with the goal. Wait with the goal of coming, but not now. Why come now? We're not ready. Oh, because we see everybody else is getting in. Oh, yeah, but we're not through. One of her favorite reporters gets to ask the following questions.
Hey, Jen, are there any discussions within the White House about reversing the policy of allowing all unaccompanied children into the United States?
No.
None at all. So I guess is the plan then to take in and safely and humanely find a home for an unlimited number of unaccompanied children?
I think this issue requires us taking a step back as human beings and as mothers, of which I am one. I know there are many in the room or many at home. These kids are coming. They are fleeing prosecution. They are fleeing difficult circumstances in their home country. When they come here, all we're talking about here is ensuring that they are treated safely. They are not trafficked. They are not sent back on a unsafe journey. That's what we're talking about. When these kids come in, it doesn't mean they are ensured that they get to stay. They go through the processing system that everyone goes through. But we want to ensure that that is done by treating them humanely and with respect. Many of them will be sent back home eventually, but we're talking about how we treat them as they come in the country.
Well, and I'm a mom too, so I certainly feel for all of these children that are fleeing very difficult situations in their homes to come here. But, the fact remains, you have DHS projecting 117,000 unaccompanied minors by May. And, that brings me to another question. A lot of these numbers and this data, they're all coming from leaked documents from DHS, from HHS.
Yeah.
Why doesn't the White House just release these numbers? I mean, don't the American people deserve to get the data straight from you and straight from the White House?
Data of projected numbers in internal documents for policy discussions?
Data about how many unaccompanied children and migrants are crossing the border on a daily basis. I understand eventually it's made public, but Why not right now?
It is made public by the Department of Homeland Security and the officials who oversee the entire process. It is made public, but we don't, as a policy, make public or confirm private decks and policy documents, as no administration would.
So can you confirm how many illegal border crossings there are on average every day right now?
I would send you to the Department of Homeland Security and CBP, who of course would be overseeing that process.
Okay, and one more question on immigration. House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy, he's requesting a meeting with President Biden about this issue. He's also asking President Biden to acknowledge the crisis. Will President Biden take that meeting, and I'll ask it again, will he acknowledge that there's a crisis?
Well, first, the president and this administration's focus is on digging out of the dismantled and inhumane immigration approach of the last administration. And that's why the president has proposed an immigration bill that would not only address the root causes that Leader McCarthy referenced in his letter, but would move beyond the policy of funding ineffective border walls by investing in smart security at ports of entry, and would also create a pathway to citizenship. And we would welcome the openness or desire to engage on that from the leader or any Democrat or Republican who wants.
Yep. See, his focus has been on immigration. I thought it was on the American Rescue Plan. That's why he can't come and talk, because he's just scattered all over the place. But no, we are not changing our plans to let all children in, because I'm a mother. The reporter, instead of saying, well, I'm one too, and she should have just said, I'm one too, and that has nothing to do with United States policy. Nobody cares if you're a mother. We have a crisis here. But no, anyway, no, they're not going to do anything about it. They're going to let them all in. Yes, they are. Over 118,000 are expected to come in just through the next couple of months. Now, again, if they're going to allow families to come here to be with their children, and how many of those families are going to say, oh, send our little Lupito back? No, they're going to say, we'll come. Can we bring the grandparents too? Got some aunts and uncles? You are looking at least 4 to 5 extra family members. At 118,000, that makes it over 500,000 people that will be added to this country through unaccompanied minors alone, the possibility of it. Now, you add that to the others that are coming, and how long will it take us? 2 to 3 years to get back to full employment from where we were pre-pandemic, and now they're adding more people to come. This is not the time. I don't care where you are on the border issue. Why in the world would you bring in everybody from down south now? Not even to mention that the State Department, there was a question yesterday, the State Department was already purchasing space on airplanes, buying tickets on airplanes to start bringing people in from different countries that were previously denied visas, and something stopped it. We don't know what. But they were already ready to start bringing in all these refugees. Again, if you want to do it, okay. If that's what you want to do, you're in charge. Why do you have to do it now? For the same reason they wanted to flip Minnesota. They wanted to bring in, just look where they put everybody. Look how it works. They're doing it to change the country. But no, you don't listen to those of us who understand this and see it. Look where where states have changed, where they flipped. Look where there are now Muslim members of Congress. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but that speak against the country. Think we're evil. It's where they've resettled refugees, where there's a majority. They know what they're doing, ladies and gentlemen. And it's not to help us. It's not to help you. It's not to help your family. And if you look at the unemployment numbers, they even pointed out the highest group that are unemployed are blacks. Well, guess what? These illegals, it's been shown time and time again, directly compete for their jobs. And they're bringing all these kids in at a time when a lot of schools are still closed and they can't get them opened up. But that's just me. That's just me. All right. We're into one of our favorite segments, God formation. Where are the fireworks? Somebody lost the fireworks. Oh, you didn't think we were going to do it because I was rambling on. There they are. Yes, the inside information segment of the show, which everybody has come to love, and everybody knows we know a lot of stuff that a lot of people don't. We even knew Mitt Romney was going to fall before he fell. We predicted the stock market trouble coming. Yes, we did. And hopefully you didn't go out and buy a lot of stocks, but today's a good day. But what will Monday bring? Yes, yes, yes. What do we have in the old God formation basket here today? Let's start with this. Now, they're really pushing on the American Rescue Plan, but people are already tired of being pushed, and that's the people in Congress. They have given all they can, and it's hanging by a thread. They are holding some data back that will come out and soon, and may even cut down the plan. Because as they're already asking in the press briefing, it's not a press conference, it's a press briefing, why do we need this? Things are getting better. Why do we need this? $1.9 trillion is only going to buy us 1 year. That's an expensive year. I should have figured out how much money a day that was. Somebody do it real quick and tell everybody. Joe is on a new med that is somewhat disorienting at first, but adds more focus as it hits its peak. Problem is that it just tails off somewhat suddenly, and he can't take too much of it to, you just can't take extra to make the effect longer, and they continue to work on that. So maybe they're hoping that will help him get through the press briefing. Cuomo, there was Cuomo news. I hate seeing that, man. Cuomo is being leaned on heavily to resign by the Democratic Party. He is still hopeful that he can stay. As he said earlier today, I'm not going to resign. I was voted in by the people. Well, couldn't everybody say that? Oh, maybe he legitimately was. I forgot. Not everybody can say that. Yeah, Jen is wanting to cut back on briefings to just 4 a week. But so far, nobody's letting her. She took the job expecting a love fest every day. And if that's love, it's not what you want. Because overall, these people are not happy. Even the ones that she would call her friends. Susan Rice, remember her? One of the real powers behind the scenes. Susan Rice is planning a full court press on gun issues. Expect more coming out soon. But I thought they were only focused on the American Rescue Plan, immigration, racial equality, sexual equity, and COVID, and border issues, and immigration, and guns. How can they do that? I don't know, but they are. They're amazing. They are focused on all this, plus laser focused on white supremacy terrorist threats, which wouldn't be hard because there's not many. Come on. She wants an executive order on the ownership of guns, I think. Oh, the amount of guns that one family can own. Yes. Knowing that it will be struck down, but would work till Congress could pass a law. And once one EO goes through, there would be more to just create a backlog until one or more actually stick. So they're planning just a bombardment of executive orders on all of this. And they'd be expecting those soon. Now, the planners meeting today on your tax dollars, trying to destroy churches and the state of Israel. The church is done, they think, if they can get through the Equality Act, but they don't think it will pass. So they are ready with executive order options. Now, I got this last night and today. Guess what? Jen announced at, the beginning of the presser, as they call it.
On Monday, the president will sign 2 executive orders to advance gender equity and opportunity for women.
Now, gender equity does not just include biological women. So he's only focused on the American Rescue Plan, but darn if equality and equity, gender equity doesn't slip in, and they're going to have people talking about it there Monday. So this is a big deal. These are big orders. Found out about it last night. There is a stack of executive orders ready to go, and they cover every part of government. They want more on climate for now, but Biden doesn't like them because of his time in the Senate. And so they keep running into issues with the thief in chief. He already went home? Okay. Well, he can't do his little move. All right, tell him. We had another role for him. So, you know, that's good though, isn't it? Yeah, because there's not one executive order that's going to be any good. But yeah, more on gender equity and equality. All right. While the talk is negotiating with Iran, they are glad to have Trump to blame everything on, as they do not want Iran to back down, but to be a major threat to Israel. They need Iran to use Israel to get a two-state plan. Iran makes demands for the Palestinians. Remember, Henry Kissinger said, we showed you that yesterday, that the Trump administration was able to separate the Palestinian problem from the rest of Mideast issues. Well, they want Iran to bring that back together. And that's why they are very happy that everything's falling apart there. Syria is ready to move on the Golan Heights, which the Trump administration recognized as part of Israel, but are being held up until Russia has decided their options in place. Iran wants to establish a base there to get that area active, that region active, and make it an active threat to pull Israel's attention there from Palestinian areas so they can do. I mean, all this planning is going on in the White House basement. They're working hard on it. There are many conversations with Iran, just not on peace. And this is through executive channels. Okay? And the Pope today is meeting with people in Iran, and he has some messages from the U.S. Trust me on that. They're talking with Iran, just not on peace. Money is being sent through aid packages. Yes, and soon it will be revealed, as it is based on NGOs, if you ever hear that, non-governmental organizations. It's all happening through them, and people are soon going to talk, because a lot of those are humanitarian organizations, and they don't like all this war. And they want Biden to really be seen and to talk up religion to help get the Equality Act passed. It is dead as his religious experience. Yeah, they want, I'm religious and I'm Catholic, and this isn't going to change a thing. This is going to help. We did have a funny thing to show you from the former president, from the pretend president. It must be Friday. It's time to go, but we are running out of time, so we will see you next week. Thank you for stopping by. Wait a minute, you were supposed to play. What's wrong with everybody?